Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, Dave and the Man Cave. Well, in this video, basically all I'm going to talk about is choosing your first motorcycle, just to give you a few little tips. Now, the thing is, when you're choosing a motorcycle, is it the motorcycle you want, or is it actually the motorcycle you need? Now, the reason I put it like that is because if you're not going to be an all-weather rider and you're going to be out just for the summer and the good weather, you might want to buy yourself a nice little sports bike or some retro kind of a bike. But if you're going to do the commute, you might want to get yourself some sort of a scooter or a low-powered engine, what does more miles per the gallon, which is cheap to insure and easy to handle and, lock up and keep secure. Now, to me, my personal opinion, now this is only my personal opinion, I wouldn't get a sports bike to go to work unless when you get to work you've actually got a safe environment to lock the bike in, whether it's at the back of the workplace where it's sealed under lock and key. Because if you take a sports bike and you're leaving it in the same place all the time in a car park, well, you're leaving it out there for the thugs to have a look at, and they tend to know when you're coming and going. They know when the bike's there and they know what to bring with them to whip it away. So the reason I'm saying is, what bike do you want and what bike do you need for your purpose? Okay, you've just passed your test, so you don't want to drive a great big massive bike straight away. Well, you probably do, but the thing is, will you be able to handle it? There's a lot of weight there and there's a lot of stuff to consider. So really, I recommend that you take your time and build up and get a bike and get used to it, and then go bigger and bigger and bigger. Gradually do it and do it the safe way, and you'll learn more and you'll get more experience for when you spend a lot more money on the bike, what you're really, really looking for, what your dream desire is. Now, there's plenty of second-hand bikes out there in the market, and there's dealerships all around the place what give warranty on second-hand bikes as well. And you don't have to start off new. We all started, well, most of us started off on second-hand bikes and small bikes, you know. So basically is, you're looking for a bike what fits your needs. So okay, you're doing a commute, say 5 miles each way or 3 miles each way. You might be going across city or from village to village or whatever. So you're going to face the elements of all year round. So what kind of bike would you really want for that, which is sensible? A lot of people say, oh, well, I wouldn't be seen on a scooter. I don't see the problem. There's nothing wrong with a scooter. It's a means of transport. It's a cheap means of transport, and it saves you from the elements, from the winds and the rain, because they're designed for that. And then you've got something like a 250. If you get a 250 motorcycle and you might be doing a bit of a further commute, then a 250, it's not a bad bike. It's for a new beginner, a 250 is actually a beast of a bike, which you'll be surprised what you can actually get out of a 250. And some of the 125s out there, but a lot of people want to move on from 125s fairly quick, which I can understand, especially if they've got to go on a motorway just for a small period of time. Now they say that people can't do touring on small motorbikes, or if you look on the internet, on YouTube, you will find any amount of small bikes doing massive tours, and they achieve so much for these little bikes, and the cost of running them as well, it's fantastic, really. So you want to be talking about the road tax, the insurance class. You want to take in mind the running cost of the bike, the tyres, the servicing, and the upkeep in general. Now, a lot of these scooter kind of bikes, there's a lot of plastic on them, So for the salt water, the salt rain and the salt what's on the road for the winter time, you know, they're easy to clean, they're easy to wash down and what have you. So think about when you pass your test, what do you need or what do you want? There is a difference, needing something and wanting something. Like, does it suit your needs? I'm going to go back towards scooters again. If you're doing a commute or doing a little bit of shopping on the way home from work, they've got plenty of space under the seat. You can lift the seat up, you can put your gloves, your crash helmet, your rain gear underneath the seat. There's plenty of room on these modern scooters. They're fantastic. And basically they run on fumes as well. They're brilliant. And you can actually see a lot of them on the internet and on magazines for sale. And when you look at what kind of mileage them little engines are being put up on them, you know, and for the cost what the bike's bought you, they're fantastic. But if you're not going to commute and you're going to get a bike and you just want it for fair weather riding, what kind of bike are you going to go for? Depending on your age, I suppose. If you're a young lad or a young girl, you might be inclined to go for a sports bike, and older people tend to go for cruisers or custom kind of bikes. But it's everybody's own choice. But the bike is not the expensive part of the hobby. You've got the gloves, you've got your leathers, you've got your pants, you've got your gloves, you've got your waterproof or your oilskins or whatever you want to call them. A lot of these things you can spend nearly the price of the bike again. So don't just consider, I've seen a bike, I'm going to go and get it. If you know you're definitely going to get a bike, think about getting your safety protection first, that you've got it when you do get the bike, because you might be a bit laid back and you're not going to wait to save up or buy the proper gear, and before you know it, you're out on your road and it's curtains, game's over. You know, you really do want to look after yourself and take the right gear with you on your back. You know, you need to be wearing the right and good approved equipment. That is a big must in my book. I've always said it. I'm not one of these who likes riding around in shorts or flip-flops or t-shirts. I think it's ludicrous, to be quite honest. I think it's nuts, especially when people do it so close to home. You'll find that a lot of accidents do happen on your doorstep or a couple of miles from where you live, because you tend to know the area and you tend to take more chances. Or if you're on a journey and you come back, you might be getting tired from a long journey, and then you start taking advantage because you know the area. So it's not always a good thing. So my advice is to you, safety equipment is a must, and you know, get approved stuff. There's great stuff out there on the market. You can go, there's different price ranges, you can go up and down, there's so much out there for you. But look at the price of the insurance and the road tax, and is it going to be expensive to get a service on that particular bike from a dealer? Because it might be a finicky old engine and they might not want to see it, or are you going to get a good warranty? There's so much to look into. They all look nice in the window. They, you know, every new bike looks lovely in the window and polished and clean. And when you go into a shop to look at a bike, the name of the game for that person in that shop, they are there to sell you a bike. So you want to go in with a bit of knowledge. Don't go in blindfolded, because they're there to sell. They could be on good commission, they could be on bad commission. I don't know that side of it, but they're there to sell. So you want to know a little bit of what you're going for, and take someone experienced with you to have a look around at these bikes as well. It will help. But don't just jump into the first bike you see. Have a good look around. There's an awful lot out there on the market. new, used, second-hand, you name it, it's out there. And another thing, if you are anywhere mechanical, it's nice to try and do some of the small little jobs on your own bike to save the expense. Ask a friend or buddy to show you how to do it or give you a hand. And I've said to time and time again, if you're doing a little job on your motorcycle, if you're going to take anything off, take a photograph of what you're taking off and how you've taken it off, and you'll know what way it come off, that you can look at the picture to put it back together again if you're not too sure. But as always, don't jump into these things and put a little bit of thought in it, because every bike, they basically, depending how you ride them, they all do the same thing. Some are faster and slower and sluggish and what have you. But at the end of the day, you might not agree with this, but there is speed limits out there, and you know, depending what you're doing for a job, if you're driving for a living, then you're going to look after your license and you're going to stick to the limits. Now, not everybody's going to do that, but that goes without saying. People are going to do that and make their own mind up what they're going to do. But whether you settle for a 4 or a 600 or a 750 or a 1200, there are speed limits out there. You can only do what the speed limits allow you to do before you get caught, because after investing money in all the motorbike gear and the equipment and the insurance, it's so easy to lose your license. And one of the first things you want to get when you get your bike, or get it before the bike comes to the house, is good security locks. Make sure you've got great security locks, because you don't want the bike going for a walk on the first day you bring it home. You want to have all this thought out, because there's people out there making big money on stealing bikes and selling them off for parts. So, you know, put a bit of thought into it. Have a look around. There's plenty on the market, and spend wisely. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. So we'll talk to you again. But if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please hit that notification button down below and give it the thumbs up. It'll be much appreciated, because by giving it the thumbs up, it will help the channel grow. So guys and girls, thanks very much for sticking by. Until next time, keep it in between the ditches, and we'll talk to you again. Thank you very much for dropping by.